How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be taking a look at my lineup preview for Game Week 13. As you can see on the graphic just above me, up there somewhere, you can see that Chilwell has a red flag. We might have to use one of our 2 free transfers to fix that situation. We'll take a look at how our lineup's looking, how we did in Game Week 12, and what our future tinkering options are going forward. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe channel if you're new or haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel, as well as turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so that you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, from price changes to injury news and anything in between. And lastly, make sure to give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams. We leave a pinned comment down below to let you know when those streams are going to be happening. So without further ado, let's talk about our partners for this video with Manscaped. This video is brought to you by Manscape, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped have just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0, alongside their Performance Package 4.0, which also includes the Weed Whacker hair and nose trimmer for those pesky little hairs that are getting out of hand, the Crop Preserver for anti-chafing to make sure that you are as relaxed at all times, the Crop Reviver for maximum conditioning and toning to make sure your jewels are as buff as possible, disposable shaving mats, as well as the premier travel bag for your on-the-go grooming, and lastly the anti-chafing boxers, which I can personally say are extremely comfortable and keep you cool under the highest amount of pressure. What I found the most impressive is that the Lawnmower 4.0 features ceramic cutting-edge blades to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, so you can now have that added security when venturing into uncharted territories. The upgraded trimmer also includes a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock, and also when you are venturing into those uncharted territories, it has the ability for a LED, a 400K LED, a very strong light that you can switch on and off so you can get that more precise shave. So make sure to join over 4 million men who trust in Manscaped with this exclusive offer, 20% off and free worldwide shipping, using the code FLAME20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code FLAME20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So this is how the team lined up for Game Week 12. 95 points and 8 places outside the top 1,000. Absolutely crazy start to the season. We used one of our free transfers that we had available from our 2 possible frees, and that was Vicente Guaita. Came in goal instead of Fernandez for Brentford. So we brought him in. Both him and Fernandez got the same amount of points with 3, but we did play the right goalkeeper this time, and we got 3 points versus Ramsdale's 1. You can see on the graphic as well, Diaz with the asterisk, he did not play, but we did start him in our lineup. Rafinha also was unavailable for the game on the weekend, so he did not play either, so we got Smith Rowe's 2 points in as well. And funnily enough, it was just Smith Rowe and Mbeumo that didn't get points, basically. Guaita ended up getting a save point. Reece James and Chilwell just absolutely banged it. 12 points, 9 points. I mean, those two on the wild card since Game Week 8 have absolutely just wrecked everything that's been in front of them. And that's the reason why my rank is so good as it stands right now. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 15 points as well, just continues to deliver over and over and over again. And João Cancelo with the 12 points. I think we have to start considering these fullbacks as potential captaincy options. The man that we did captain, which we seem to be captaining every week, is Mo Salah. Got us 8 points, 16 with the captaincy on us as well. And finally, our forwards got some returns, and we didn't expect it, but every single one of them got a return. St. Maximin got a goal and an assist. Didn't even know he had an assist. I just knew that he had scored. Jimenez got his typical goal with a few bonus points tacked onto that as well. And Ivan Toney with a goal as well. Could have potentially had more. So very, very pleased with this game week. I'm so glad that I stuck to my guns and kept St. Maximin. He was originally going to go for the likes of Harry Kane, but I said, you know what? Going to be a little bit patient. Going to wait. Going to see what Spurs are about. The second half, you know, was a little bit better. The first half wasn't so great, and this week I might not even be going for him again. I might just have to bypass, just forget about Spurs altogether, because they lost in Europa League as well. So St. Maximin might be staying around for that Norwich fixture, as well as the Burnley fixture, as he is looking quite good. And with Eddie Howe's attacking style of play, could prove to be a very useful asset at 6.8 million. So that's how we did in Game Week 12. Very, very happy about that with the 95 points. And hopefully we can continue on. I keep saying it every week, and we keep getting green arrows. So it's going to be, again, it's going to be more and more difficult. We got 2 free transfers. Let's see how we're lining up tentatively for Game Week 13. So this is how we have the defense and goalkeeper set up as it stands for Game Week 13. I prefer Ramsdale over Guaita just because Ramsdale is playing Newcastle, and I think that they are more likely to keep a clean sheet. Eddie Howe's team is going to attack, whether he's at the game or not, because last game he was isolating due to testing positive. But I think that Villa are going to be a lot more rigid. They're going to be playing a lot more structured, and they're going to cause Crystal Palace some problems, whereas I think Newcastle are just going to attack, and if Arsenal hit them on the counter-attack a couple of times, they could be 2-3 up in no time, which would kind of demoralize Newcastle in a sense and make it easy for Ramsdale to make longer ranged saves, as it were. In defense, Diaz and Cancelo, no reason for me to not play them if I have them in my team. Diaz might be on the chopping block. We'll talk about that in a little bit in the transfer tinkering section. Trent Alexander-Arnold, definitely going to be in the team as well. Although there is some concerns potentially about the weather at Liverpool, but I kind of checked it. It's going to be a little bit on the windy side, but the game should still go through. And then the Chelsea defenders, Reece James, definitely not going anywhere, although I fully expect United to not come away with anything more than a point, potentially, at Stamford Bridge. I still think Chelsea would keep a clean sheet, so it's either going to be a 0-0 or a scored victory for Chelsea, I think. That's how I think it's going to go. And I think that Chelsea are probably perfectly happy with the 1-0 win or something like that, which is probably what they're going to get. Although they will be without Ben Chilwell, who is injured. He's flagged and will be back in 6 weeks. At least that's what they've said. He has an ACL injury from what we gather. And it seems like they're going to wait it, at least this is what Tuchel said in his press conference. They're going to wait it out for 6 weeks. They're going to see if they can rehab it or see what they can do with it. If it requires surgery after that point, because they'll know more then he's going to be pretty much out for the season. So definitely a transfer out, because 6 weeks in terms of FPL time is like 9 game weeks, which is a ridiculous amount. But luckily there's a perfectly Alonso-shaped hole where Chilwell is, so that we can just drop him down to Alonso, who I think is 5.6 million. So we'll look at that at the transfer section, and we'll take a look at the bench when we get to the midfielders and forward slots as well. So let's take a look at that midfield and how it sets up tentatively for Game Week 13. So Mo Salah is definitely going to be our captain for this game week. There's no real kind of problems there. If the Liverpool game were to be cancelled because the weather would pick up or be bad, they have some type of storm going through Merseyside, basically. From what I gather, we just need to make sure our vice captain is solid enough, and I think I have an okay one going into this week. Smith Rowe and Rafinha, the other 2 midfielders that we have in there. I think Rafinha probably just edges it over Mbeumo, and Smith Rowe has a better fixture than Mbeumo, in my opinion. I think Newcastle are a lot more susceptible, even to an injury-ridden Everton. Newcastle are worse than Everton, to be honest. And Smith Rowe could be quite good on the counter-attack as well. So I think the midfield is quite solid this week. I could go with the Brentford double-up or the Arsenal double-up. It's just what I prefer to do. But it's more exciting to have a couple extra players in the early kickoff, because you get up early and you want to see one of your players at least playing it, because I get up to do the deadline stream anyway, which is slightly early. But yeah, I think Smith Rowe has the better fixture than Mbeumo. Personally, I think Smith Rowe has been in better form. I also think he doesn't hit the post as much, which is nice, and he gets us some FPL points, so we're going to play him as well. Mbeumo is going to be first sub, though, for sure. St. Maximin will be second, Brownhill third. So if someone were to miss out, let's say Diaz got benched again or something like that for whatever reason, Mbeumo will be the first one to come in. So no worries about that. Let's take a look at our strike force and talk about the team as a whole. So our 2 forwards that we've chosen for the game, Jimenez is our vice captain away at Norwich. I think it's a perfectly fine fixture to have as our vice captain. I think he's probably better off than one of the wing backs. Personally, I think potentially you know, Reece James might concede to United. It's possible, even though I think it's more likely Chelsea keep a clean sheet, and at worst case they get a 0-0. Cancelo, I think I predicted a 2-1 in favor of City, or maybe a 3-1. I think West Ham might get something on the break, as City have shown to be susceptible on the counter. I mean, you know, Mbappe got them on the counter when they were kind of parking the bus, really, and City were on the ascendancy. So I think that could definitely happen with the likes of Tony and Bowen, who are very good on the counterattack. And then Ivan Toney scored last week, is going to be in there, so he's my Brentford player in there. A lot of managers have been benching Mbeumo or getting rid of him now. I'm still going to hang on to him because I think for 5.5 million, he can't do too much better, to be honest. He is our first sub as well, and I think Tony's probably better with this new system from 3-5-2 now 3-4-3. He's the focal point, and he could have had potentially more points. So I like Tony in this position, although Mbeumo will probably end up getting more points in this position now that he's considered being played wide in the system as well. We have 4.9 million in the bank with 2 free transfers. Squad value 98.8 million. So looking very, very solid in terms of the whole. Would I like to fit Mbeumo in there? Probably. If I keep the team as is and I didn't make any transfers, Mbeumo would definitely come in for Chilwell for sure. Mbeumo versus Diaz, I think it's a bit of a close call, but I think we could potentially be making a move there. So I would probably side with Mbeumo in over Diaz, probably just. But I put Diaz in there because he might stay. I'm still not, you know, sure on that one. I think Diaz almost certainly gets this game because West Ham is a little bit tougher opposition. But I think Mbeumo probably has a better chance of scoring, even though he's hit the woodwork 7 or 8 billion times this season. So I think probably Mbeumo probably just shades. I got Diaz in the lineup now. I'll have to think on it overnight. But let's take a look at some of the tinkering options that I can explore going into Game Week 13. So this is the transfer screen. As you can see, 2 free transfers, 4.9 million in the bank, and Chilwell is red flagged. It says here expected back January 15th, but again, this is just tentative. They want to check him out after 6 weeks to see if he needs surgery still, or if they could potentially rehab it off. I think most likely he's just going to be out for the whole season, which is a bit unfortunate for him, as a great FPL asset. If he does go down in price, we will lose value on him. So selling him this week is very, very good for us if we can do that before he goes down again, because we paid 5.6 million. So every 0.2 that he goes up, since he's gone up 0.4 million, we get 0.2 and 5.8. If he goes down to 5.9, we can only sell him at 5.6, which is, you know, every penny counts in this case. So what would be the straightforward option here? Well, the straightforward option would just be Ben Chilwell out, and we would just bring in the likes of Marcus Alonso, who I think will fill in at left back quite capably. And the reason I think this is because Tuchel was going to bring on Azpilicueta for Reece James in the Champions League, and then Chilwell went down injured. So he just said, I'm just going to throw on Azpilicueta because he needs some minutes. Alonso is almost certainly going to come back into the team. I don't think there hasn't been a time, from my recollection, since Tuchel's come in that either Alonso or Chilwell, having at least one of them fit, hasn't played. So I think that transfer probably makes the most sense to me. The other option that I could also do is look to see if I can, you know, get some extra funds for Harry Kane. That would require a hit. It would require a downgrade from Chilwell to someone a little bit lower. If I was looking for, you know, a Spurs defender, you know, you have Emerson Royale at 4.9, which would allow me to get Kane, because Kane is 12.2 million. That is something that I considered. He could also be Sergio Reguilon as well. If I wanted to address the situation next week with Chilwell, I can always downgrade the likes of Diaz to an Emerson Royale. I actually haven't checked. Can I downgrade Alonso for Kane? No, I'm 0.1 off. So yeah, sometimes you just get a bit unlucky on that. But if Alonso is 5.5, I could have got Kane. But I could also do that too if I didn't want to get rid of Chilwell for whatever reason. But again, it's if I'm going to get rid of Chilwell over Diaz, or Diaz over Chilwell, you're going to get rid of the injured guy, because that's just kind of how it works, especially if there's postponements or players that don't show up or whatever. So I think getting rid of Chilwell is probably one of the priorities this week, so that we can get the sell value on him. And I think Alonso is probably the most likely. We could bring in Antonio Rudiger. He's just a little bit more expensive. I think Alonso is a lot more exciting. I think he's going to play as well. As for the second transfer, there's a couple of different things we can do. Like we said, we could go for Kane. but that would require us to downgrade elsewhere, and that would probably mean the likes of Diaz would go down to I mean, we can go to a Livramento if we wanted to. If we wanted to just play 4 at the back consistently. If we still wanted to keep the 5, we could go for the likes of Walker and still keep the double city clean sheet. If we wanted to go that route, that would be for a hit. I have no issues with that as well. Something that I also looked at was Livramento as well, and we keep St. Maximin. And then we get rid of Mbomo this week, who are most likely would have benched, and we would bring in Sadio Mane, and that would allow us to bench Livramento instead and keep Alonso, James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo in the team with Smith Rowe, Mane, Rafinha, Salah, and play Tony and Jimenez in a 4-4-2. That is something also I have considered. The other alternative as well, which is something I've also considered because Mane is a lot more expensive, is just bringing Diogo Jota. He went up in price last night, which is kind of annoying, but we can still bring him in for the 2 frees, and we still have 3 million in the bank to do whatever we want with it, basically. And this allows us in a couple of game weeks' time, if we want, to get rid of Jimenez for free in game week 15 or 16 or whenever we want to, for the likes of Antonio, who is and will have great fixtures from game week 16 onwards. So if we were to go for something like this, Alonso and Jota, 2 frees, bank the 3 million, go from there. This week we would play Ramsdale, Alonso, James, Trent, Cancelo, Smith Rowe, Jota, Rafinha, Salah, Tony, and Jimenez, and we would bench Diaz, Brownhill, St. Maximin would probably be the way we would go. I don't think I'd play Diaz over Tony. I don't think I would be playing Diaz over Smith Rowe. I think that's more likely because if we had Rudiger, then maybe I consider Diaz just because is United a better team than West Ham right now? Probably not. So you probably would favor that, but that's something we could do. Then we would roll next week because there's no reason to not, because Chelsea have Watford away, so we play both Chelsea defenders. City, they have Aston Villa, so we play both of them. Trent has, I believe, Everton, so that's no problems there, which means we're playing Jota, we're playing Salah. Rafinha has Crystal Palace, whereas Smith Rowe has somebody difficult, if I remember. He has Man United away, which is always tricky. So we play 5 at the back, 3 in midfield. We would bench Tony because he has Spurs away, and Jimenez has Burnley at home, and we would play St. Maximin, who has Norwich at home. So we would go from there on game week 14, roll the transfer, go into game week 15 with 2 frees. In game week 15, we would probably just do like some type of kind of dummy move if we wanted to look for the likes of Ronaldo or something like that, if that's what we wanted to go for. In game week 15, if we find that, you know, who the supposed manager is going to be Ralph Rangnick, that Diego Dalot or somebody crazy is going to be, you know, at the back or attacking, or maybe Luke Shaw is you know, becomes prevalent, or even Alex Telles. I mean, that would be wild. 5 million. How much is Diego Dalot? Diego Dalot is 4.4 if he starts playing game in, game out at right back for these fixtures. At 4.4 million, that could be absolutely insane. We know he's got a great delivery on him. So maybe someone like him comes in. This could also be Lamptey as well, same price point at 4.4 million. That would be our game week 15 transfer, rolling the next one into 16. And then we can look to do something like this. We'd get rid of Jimenez. We'd bring in Antonio. We would then get rid of St. Maximin, because his fixtures would have been gone from game week 16 onwards. They're much trickier. We would look to bring in Ronaldo. And then we'd have to look and get rid of somebody to bring in some funds somewhere, basically. Whether that's downgrade Ivan Toney, it could be to downgrade Diogo Jota to get a 6.1 million midfielder. One player that I do like is Jared Bowen. Unfortunately, he's 6.4 million, but he would be really, really nice to go in that slot. Since we have Jota in this position, he would be the most likely one to go. And in game week 16 onwards, you know, Aston Villa at home, Newcastle at home, Leeds at home, 3 home fixtures look quite good. So I don't really want to get rid of Jota. So it'd have to be somebody else that would have to be downgraded for 1.5 million. who that's going to be, I don't know. It's probably most likely going to be Tony in this instance. Yes, he has Watford at home, but then he has Man United at home, Southampton away, Brighton away. You know, it's a couple of bad, couple of good, and then his fixtures aren't great at all. So if we downgraded him, it would just be to like a Keenan Davis or something like that. If our sideways move was to get rid of one of our goalkeepers, however, so if let's say Tony was still there, Diaz was still there, Jimenez was still there, and St. Maximin was still there, and we got rid of, let's say we sold Ramsdale at his current price, and we brought in, I don't know, let's say Ben Foster as an example, that 0.5 million might actually come in handy. So we would get rid of Jimenez for Antonio. This is in game week 16. We would get rid of St. Maximin for Ronaldo. And then we could get rid of Diaz. If we took a hit someplace else, it'd be a lot easier to bring in like a 4.4. It'd be that extra 0.5 less. So what we could do after that is get rid of Jota and bring in Bowen. That would be the way we do it. It's still 0.2. It's very, very close. It's very tight. So it would require a hit somewhere else, basically, along those lines, if that's something we could potentially go for. I really like this team as well because the double West Ham is going to be good for this run of fixtures. If an attacking fullback emerges from United, if it is Delo, it could be quite nice. I don't really want to hold Diaz long term because there is that risk of rotation now as well. Tony, like I said, could be dropped down. The squad is quite flexible, and I think Alonso and Jota just make the most sense this week. So that's probably most likely what I'm going to do is just bring in Jota for Mbomo. Chilwell is going to come out for Alonso. We'll play Alonso and James just because of their attacking threat, and United's defense isn't great. Diaz will almost certainly drop to the bench because we'll play 4 across the midfield. We'll play Jota, Salah, Rafinha, and Smith Rowe with Tony and Jimenez up front with St. Maximin on the bench. And worst case scenario, if the Liverpool game does get called off because apparently there's, like I said, this storm, Diaz comes in for Trent. We're fine with that. Brownhill comes in for Jota. Not great, but we're okay with that. And then St. Maximin comes in for Salah. It's okay, but at least we still have playing players. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. What transfers do you think I should make? I think Alonso and Jota make a lot of sense. Just direct replacements. Jota looks to be quite good and is also very good when Salah and Mane go to the African Cup of Nations, which would be very difficult to get rid of both of those guys, Mane and Salah, if I had them both in my team going towards the end of December because of that tournament that they have to go into. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. What players are you going to be bringing in this week? I am definitely intrigued to see what Chilwell replacements you've come up with. Are you going to be bringing in Diogo Jota? I know Foden is injured as well. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. And that's going to do it for the Game Week 13 lineup preview. So if you haven't heard about Fantasy Football Scout, they have a fantastic members area during the regular season. It's £25 for the membership, and that lasts the entire year. And during the off season, they give a 20% discount. But if you have missed that discount, fear not, you can still get the membership for £25, and it's fantastic. You can see the membership area just behind me. You have a bunch of different stats that you can use, powered by Opta stats, and create your own custom tables. You have the Rate My Team tool. You have the season ticker, player comparison tools, a whole array of things that you can use to help elevate your FPL game. So use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to these exclusive tools to help elevate your FPL game. Sign up now. And that's going to do it for our Game Week 13 lineup preview. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe channel if you're new or haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel, as well as turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so that you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, from price changes to injury news and anything in between, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams. We leave a pinned comment down below on all of our videos to let you know when those will be happening, and there's going to be to be quite a few. It's going to be a lot more streams, a lot less videos over the Christmas period. So make sure to keep locked and loaded for that one, and make sure you do have us followed, and even put the notification bell on Twitter and Twitch so that you can see as soon as we go live for those ones, as well as use the links down in the description below so that you can get access to the Fantasy Football Scout membership area. I believe both Fantasy Football Scout, which is going to help elevate your FPL game, has a Black Friday sale thing, I think, maybe, for the membership area. And Manscaped, use the code FLAME20 so that you can get 20% off your Manscaped order as well. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.